this question states, which of the following is a known risk factor for developing cardiovascular disease? Option A states smoking. And smoking is known to have many negative health impacts, and one of them is increasing the risk for certain diseases, certain cancers, which includes cardiovascular disease. So option A, smoking, looks like it's correct. So we will go with this for now, but let's go through the other choices in case we need to change it. Option B states regular exercise. Regular exercise is a great preventative factor for cardiovascular disease. So maybe if you look at this question too quick and you didn't see it says risk factor, you might accidentally go here. So remember that this is something that prevents cardiovascular disease. The question is asking for what's a risk factor, what's harmful, what could lead to cardiovascular disease. So we could eliminate option B. Option C states high calcium intake. So this one's interesting because a very high calcium intake can cause electrolyte imbalances and other issues within the body, and maybe it could lead to an arrhythmia or different acute factors within the body. But the question is asking about developing cardiovascular disease. And when we see that, we're usually thinking long-term, true chronic disease, such as high cholesterol, maybe issues with plaque buildup, maybe something that could lead to stroke, myocardial infarction, which is a heart attack, which is a little bit different than just an acute reversible arrhythmia that might happen with a high calcium intake. So it's looking like option A, smoking, is a better choice than option C. So we can eliminate option C. Because you might see some choices on the exam where two of them seem similar, but we're looking for which one is the better of the two or makes the most sense in the scenario. Option B states consuming a vegetarian diet. And a vegetarian diet is typically seen as very healthy. That's usually seen as a good lifestyle. Yes, you might be missing certain nutrients that you might have to make up for in other ways, but generally a vegetarian diet should not be a risk factor for developing cardiovascular disease, and many times it actually is seen as preventative. So we could eliminate option D. And now going back to our original choice, option A, smoking being a risk factor for developing cardiovascular disease. Going through other choices, that still seems like our best option. So we will go with option A, smoking as a risk factor for cardiovascular disease.